Hi, welcome back to another episode. I am so glad that you are here. And for those that don't know me or it's the first time coming here, hi, my name is Karina. I am the host of That Girl Magic podcast. And we talk about anything and everything under the wellness umbrella. Today, we are going to talk about skincare in specific. Just to give you a quick background, I am an ex-makeup artist, and during my time working as a makeup artist, I also worked in stores and had formation not only about how skin functioned, but also how to apply makeup and all the tips and tricks that you could ever learn. So today, I'm gonna put you inside of the world in skincare and make you understand how they make you spend so much money when you actually don't need to spend that much. Let me explain. If you want to know more, let's jump right into it. So first of all, we need to understand that the skincare industry wants to spend billions. They want you to spend as much money as possible, so they always try to reinvent and create new things. In particular, they really grasp onto trends of particular products. What they always tend to do is that they tend to find a way to add something or create a concern that you may not even have and make you believe that you do so that you can buy that one particular product. So you end up finding yourself with 10, 12, 15, 20, 50 products in your bathroom and your skin is looking worse instead of looking better. And that has to do with many, many factors. Not only multiple actives working at the same time, your barrier constantly crying out for help, but also you find yourself having more irritation, more breakouts, more dullness, and even sensitivity. What I'm here to teach you is exactly the opposite. So, let me tell you my story first. I always struggled with acne and blackheads and whiteheads my whole life. And mine, the worst part is that they're hormonal. So I find myself getting more breakouts the more emotional I am, the more depressed I am, the more stressed I am, and also with my actual monthly cycle. So I always find myself in this loop of like, I want to fix everything, and then you try to put everything. What ended up happening, especially while I was working in the cosmetics industry, is that you are given so many samples and so many products to try. It is given to you by the company that you work with, all these products. And of course, you have to try them because you want to know the scent of them, if they work, if they don't, the actives, the texture of it, how does it dry down on the skin, how does it affect. Why? Because then you want to use that expertise to advise it to the proper person. But what that means is that every single week I had new products coming into my skin. But then even after I stopped being a makeup artist and I stopped being around the cosmetics industry, I still was using 10, 15 products a week. I was using harsh exfoliators. I wasn't understanding what my skin was becoming allergic to or what truly didn't work because either the formulation didn't work for me or I was using the wrong product for the wrong thing. And this was coming from someone that had prior knowledge. Even I was confused. So my goal here is to simplify what you are dealing with and being able to give you exactly what you need, not what you may want or what the industry may tell you to get. So if you want to know more about how to restructure your skincare routine, keep watching. The reality here is that less is more. All you need, in technicality, is a cleanser, a moisturizer, and an SPF. And let me tell you why. The cleanser is going to do a simple job. Clean your skin. Go for a gentle wash, something with a pH similar to the skin. Search for products that are either lightly exfoliating with like a 0.5% of an AHA or PHA. Search for something that has a pH similar to the skin because in reality, a lot of products were invented because certain things used to not be done with formulations. One of them is tonics. So the idea of using a tonic back in the day was because most people, what they would do is that they would use soap. And soap has a completely different pH from the currently formulated cleansers that exist in the market. So what would happen is that the soap would be extremely basic, and that would disrupt your skin pH, which falls around a 4.5 to 5. So what ended up happening is that the skin would become really dry, almost as if someone just like removed all the moisture from your skin. So the tonic, which was back in the olden days, people would use a mixture of water and vinegar, was more acidic. So it would bring your skin back to balance. So that's why a lot of people, especially those that live in countries like my own, I would always hear the same story. I would use a blue and white soap to wash my face, a mixture of water and apple cider vinegar for the wiping of the face, and then they would use the blue tin Nivea cream. And that was the typical thing that a lot of women, especially back in my grandmother's and great grandmother's time, would use for their skin. One, because it was pretty much all they could afford, and two, they knew that their skin reacted better when they did that juggle of their pH. But nowadays, we don't need to do that juggle. There's multiple products formulated that are very gentle and very good for reactive and even sensitive skin. So find a cleanser that is exactly around the space of the pH of your skin and look for something gentle that can really cleanse your skin. After that, find a moisturizer that works for you. You can either go for a very basic moisturizer that only serves to moisturize, or you can search one with some actives depending on your necessities. If you have issues with acne or wrinkles, go for stuff like niacinamide and retinol or even retinol. But be aware that retinol needs to be used mostly at night, and it can be highly reactive to the skin with sunlight. Vitamin C can also be a great ingredient to find, but I tend to find that vitamin C needs to be kept in the fridge and in the dark because it tends to deteriorate faster. So be careful with the vitamin C that you tend to find to make sure it doesn't spoil before you get all the benefits until the end of the jar. The other thing that you need to get is SPF. SPF is highly necessary. Even though the sun gives us many benefits, including the vitamin D that our skin needs, unfortunately is also one of our biggest enemies. Not only does it unfortunately help accelerate the possibility of skin cancer, but it also helps with other things such as wrinkles and skin spots. This is because the more exposure you have to light, the more likelihood it is for the melanin in your skin to react and create not only spots, but also do the dreaded skin condition that we know as cancers. Skin cancers can be one of the hardest skin cancers to actually figure out because they start really small and they spread fast. And unfortunately, a lot of people tend to die from this skin cancer if it's not found in time. Those that protect themselves with SPF, idealistically go for SPF 50 plus and reapply multiple times a day. The ideal situation is every 2 hours to reapply your SPF. Even if you are covered in your body, tend to apply to the places most often, such as your hands, your neck, face, behind the ears, behind the neck, places that show up the most. And if you're going to the beach, make sure to reapply every hour and a half because normally your body is more uncovered and there's more likelihood of you missing a spot. And get something that is water resistant. This is because what tends to happen is that we put the sunblock, we go straight in the water, and what tends to happen is that it washes part of it off. That's why some people still end up with sunburns even with the use of SPF because they forget to reapply and reapply correctly. Now, once you have that basic routine, give your body time. A lot of people believe that they can put a product today and tomorrow they will see things. Here's the thing. The only product that will ever give you an instant effect should be moisturizer. Moisturizer should take your skin from feeling very dry or dull or tired to moisturized. But that's it. you will feel your skin moisturized. But if the product has any actives or anything like that, every single active will take time, and each one of them will take different times. Stuff like vitamin C's and niacinamides can take up to 3 to 6 months to see a difference. If we're talking about retinol, or any derivatives, they can take up to a year to see a difference. This is because a lot of products work by penetrating your skin and working on the deeper layers. But that takes time to actually change your skin and create a difference. Yes, it is true that some products do work faster than others. For example, anything with saccharides that also includes retinol, you will find yourself having it go a lot faster. Personally, for me, I've seen products sometimes work in a month to 2 month time. So, how can you actually create a lasting change for your skincare in a way that it makes sense? First, start with your basics. Do a reset. Stay like that for 3 to 6 months. Once you find that your skin is reacting well, you're not having overreaction, you're not having oversensitivity, and you find that your skin is relatively okay, then you start to reintroduce one product at a time. And when I mean one product, I literally mean one product. Put one product and wait 6 months to a year before you include another one. For example, in my opinion, if you already use a cleanser, a moisturizer, and an SPF, one thing that you can include, for example, is if you do makeup, you could include an oil cleanser. This is because a lightweight oil cleanser that gets activated with water and turns into a milk is a really great add-on if you do makeup. This is because it's going to allow you to get a deeper cleanse of your skin and help out a lot. For example, if you're also someone that either prefers to utilize stuff like retinols, buciciols, and other derivatives because you want to use some anti-aging, use it as a serum, something that you only apply at night a couple times a week, and start off 1 time a week. Once you're feeling fine after 4 weeks, increase to 2 times a week. Wait another month, increase to 3 times a week, and do that until your personal preference. I tend to find that 3 times a week tends to be the ideal for most people, but if you find that your skin can actually take up quite a beating, you may be able to go all the way to daily. Just be careful. As soon as you see some sort of reaction, immediately stop the product. And idealistically, for every single product that you get, you must do a patch test. If you're scared of purchasing a product and having a reaction, if you're able, go to the shop and ask if there's a tester available. If there is, ask to do a patch test. Normally is done on the inside of the arm, inside of the wrist, or behind the ear. Ask to apply that and wait for 48 hours. If you do not have any reactions, then you can go ahead and purchase the product. If you do have a reaction, at least it got one and done and you're not going to purchase the product. Another thing that I need to warn is avoid any hacks going on social media, TikToks, Instagram, or anything like that. Any DIYs, any hacks, or overusing actives can damage your skin barrier. One of the main things that I see is the DIY masks. Do not do any of those DIY masks. A lot of them use things that we use in our cuisine. You don't need to put those products in your skin. You don't need to do any of that. Another thing is using multiple actives at the same time. I especially saw this when it was back in the day with the rise of The Ordinary. They had pretty much a serum for each little active, and a lot of people were using 5, 6, 7, 8 at the same time. No wonder that people were walking around with the biggest, reddest face of all time. Yes, your skin may look great with makeup on, but without makeup, your skin was crying out for help. And the reality here's a little trick. For your makeup to look the best that it can be, it starts off with your skin. The better your skin is, the less makeup you find yourself using. And the reality here is, when you take care of your skin, you will feel also more confident. You will feel better with yourself because you will find yourself not needing as much makeup. So you tend to only have more fun maybe with your eyes if you're someone that is more playful with your makeup. But even if you're someone more minimalistic that just simply wants to enhance what you already have, you will find that you have to wear less. And wearing less is better for you because you also let your skin breathe. You let your skin actually, live its life. And remember, it also starts from the inside. So also taking care of your nutrition, eating well, eating whole foods, eating a varied amount of foods, drinking water, hydrating yourself, and also managing your stress, your anxiety, just like I had to do to control my acne. If you do all of that, you find yourself seeing that you don't need as many products as you thought you did. So now that you have learned everything there is to know about skincare, I hope that you are able to implement this in your own personal routine and see some sort of improvements. If you find yourself with some sort of question or difficulty in some sort of thing, go ahead and leave your question in the comment section below, and I'll be ready to answer as soon as you're done. If you need anything else from me, you can also go to any of my social medias, and I hope to see you around for the next week's episode. Have a lovely week. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.